It may be hard to believe when you're facing a hot fudge sundae or the prospect of sleeping in versus hitting the gym, but studies have shown that people with self-discipline are happier. People with a higher degree of self-control spend less time debating whether to indulge in behaviours that are detrimental to their health and are able to make positive decisions more easily. They don't let impulses or feelings dictate their choices. Instead, they make level-headed decisions, and as a result, they tend to feel more satisfied with their lives. There are things you can do to learn self-discipline and gain the willpower to live a happier life. If you're looking to take control of your habits and choices, here are 9 powerful things you can do to master self-discipline. What is going on, guys? If you're new to the channel and like personal development, then hit the subscribe button. So before I go through these points, let me first share a study with you. Stanford University in 1960 experimented to uncover some aspects related to self-discipline. Now, this experiment soon became a hit with the name you might be aware of, the Marshmallow Test. Now, in this test, the subjects were young children of ages between 3 to 5, and during the test, the kids were offered 1 marshmallow, but they were also introduced with the condition, and that condition was that if they could wait for 15 minutes and resist eating their treat until the researcher was back in the room, they'd be given 2 marshmallows. So the researchers identified that children who had a low discipline ate the first marshmallow. However, children who settled for a second, bigger treat evolved to be youngsters who had outstanding academic scores, better performance at workplaces, healthier relationships, and even fewer chronic diseases. Now, opposite to this, children who failed in this self-discipline test were mostly involved in drug abuses and other unhealthy activities later in life. This experiment demonstrated how discipline, even at an early age, can have significant effects in the lives of people. Another interesting fact I found from this was that in modern day, children did better in this self-discipline experiment than kids tested 50 years ago. Today's children could wait a minute more than their parents and 2 minutes longer than their grandparents' generation. Wilhelm Hoffman did a study and noted self-control is directly proportional to satisfaction and happiness. The explanation is, if you are not disciplined, you may become overwhelmed by the anxieties of work and relationships to a limit when you just can't take it anymore. It results in losing your credibility, relations, and plays an absolutely vital role in your emotional well-being. So now let's get stuck in to the 9 powerful ways on how to be more self-disciplined. Stay around for number 9 as it is absolutely key. So number 1 is know your weaknesses. We all have weaknesses, whether they're snacks such as potato chips or chocolate chip cookies, or technology such as Facebook, the latest addictive game app. They have similar effects on us. Acknowledge your shortcomings, whatever they may be. Too often, people either try to pretend their vulnerabilities don't exist or cover up any pitfalls in their lives. Own up to your flaws. You can't overcome them until you do. Number 2 is remove temptation. Like the saying goes, out of sight, out of mind. It may seem silly, but this phrase offers powerful advice. By simply removing your biggest temptations from your environment, you'll greatly improve your self-discipline. If you want to eat healthier, don't buy junk food. If you want to improve your productivity at work, turn off notifications and silence your phone. The fewer distractions you have around you, the more focused you're going to be on accomplishing your tasks or goals. Set yourself up for success by ditching bad influences. Number 3 is set clear goals and have an execution plan. If you hope to achieve self-discipline, you must have a clear vision of what you hope to accomplish. You must also have an understanding of what success means to you. After all, if you don't know where you're going, it's easy to lose your way or get sidetracked. A clear plan outlines each step you must take in order to reach your goals. Figure out who you are and what you are about. Create a mantra to keep yourself focused. A lot of successful people use this kind of technique to stay on track and establish a clear finish line. Number 4 is build your self-discipline. We were not born with self-discipline. It's a learned behaviour. And just like any other skill you want to master, it requires daily practice and repetition. Just like going to the gym, willpower and self-discipline take a lot of work. The effort and focus that self-discipline requires can be draining. As time passes, it can become more and more difficult to keep your willpower in check. The bigger the temptation or decision, the more challenging it can feel to tackle other tasks that also require self-control. So work on building your self-discipline through daily diligence. Number 5 is create new habits by keeping it simple. Acquiring self-discipline and working to instill a new habit can feel daunting at first, especially if you focus on the entire task at hand. To avoid feeling intimidated, keep it simple. Break your goal into small, doable steps. So instead of trying to change everything at once, focus on doing one thing consistently and master self-discipline with that goal in mind. So if you're trying to get into shape, for example, start by working out 10 or 15 minutes a day. If you're trying to achieve better sleep habits, start by going to bed 15 minutes earlier each night. If you want to eat healthier, start by prepping lunch the night before to take with you in the morning. Take baby steps, and eventually when you're ready, you can add more goals or more time to your list. Number 6 is change your perception about willpower. According to a study by Stanford University, the amount of willpower a person has is determined by their beliefs. If you believe you have a limited amount of willpower, you probably won't surpass those limits. If you don't place a limit on your self-control, you are less likely to exhaust yourself before meeting your goals. So in short, it may be that our internal conceptions about willpower and self-control determine how much of them we have. If you can remove these subconscious obstacles and truly believe you can do it, you will give yourself an extra boost of motivation towards making those a reality. Number 7 is give yourself a backup plan. Psychologists use a technique to boost willpower which is called implementation intention. That's when you give yourself a plan to deal with a potentially difficult situation you know you will likely face. For instance, imagine that you're working on eating healthier, but you're on your way to a party where food will be served. Before you go, tell yourself that instead of diving into a plate of cheese and crackers, that you're going to sip a glass of water and focus on mingling with the guests. Going in with a plan will help give you the mindset and the self-control necessary for that situation. You will also save energy by not having to make a sudden decision based on your emotional state. Number 8 is reward yourself. Give yourself something to be excited about, planning a reward when you accomplish your goals. Just like when you were a little kid and you got a treat for good behaviour, having something to look forward to gives you the motivation to succeed. Anticipation is powerful. It gives you something to obsess over and focus on. So you're not only thinking of what you are trying to change, and then you achieve your goal, find a new goal and a new reward to keep yourself moving forward. And finally, number 9, the one that I said at the very beginning was absolutely key. Forgive yourself and move forward. Even with all of our best intentions and well-laid plans, we sometimes fall short. It happens, you will have ups and downs, great successes and bad failures. The key is to keep moving forward. If you stumble, acknowledge what caused it and move on. Don't let yourself get wrapped up in guilt, anger or frustration, because these emotions will only drag you further down and impede any future progress. Learn from your mistakes and forgive yourself. Then get yourself back in the game and refocus on your goals. A great example of myself getting out of discipline has been over the last 3 or 4 months traveling around, seeing family. I've enjoyed myself, but I haven't got myself angry about eating a bit too much. I've put some weight on. Look, it is what it is. I've done it. I'm not going to be angry with myself or get frustrated. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to make some changes, and then I'm going to start getting myself back into maybe a bit more of a disciplined mode with food. Well, that is it for today, everyone. I hope that you've enjoyed the content, and if you haven't already, I'd appreciate you hitting the subscribe button and you giving it a thumbs up if you liked it. And if you'd like to be notified of when the new episodes are released, then click the little notification bell. This has been Richard Rosa. Peace out.